Hi everybody, this is the baseball head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, and welcome back to the baseball head. Hopefully you like this video and hit that subscribe button. So we're going to talk about the Mets and what's going on currently with what happened on Tuesday in Colorado. We're also going to talk about Pete Alonso in this video and his offense in general. But before we get into this, we have memberships here. It's a great way to support the channel. Gives me the opportunity to do more creative things and more amusing things for this channel for you, specifically on the live streams. But we have a problem here. The Mets are not hitting again. Mets aren't hitting again. That's the one thing we know about this group, is that this group tends to sort of, when they hit well as a group, but then all of a sudden, it's like turning the lights out. It's like turning the lights out, and you'll see what happens when that happens is that this offense disappears. And we've seen this for like the last 2 years. And right now they're in a complete total blackout. Except for Jeff McNeil of all things. Jeff McNeil right now should be playing every day. I know he didn't play last night against the lefty, but I think he has to play every day. It's an obvious thing. Also, I noticed that Jesse Winker has not gotten off to a good start here. It's not a surprise. He's 3 for 15 his first 6 games. I know it's 6 games. But his at-bats have been pathetic. And that double play in the 6th inning, when the Mets needed a hit in that spot in Colorado, the round out to a double play is pathetic. But then again, I was not for that trade. This is a Met killer. He's known as a Met killer. Met killers are known for one thing, killing the Mets. He's going to come here and hit well. I wanted the Mets to get a regular, everyday outfielder for this club that was going to pick up the slack of what we're not getting out of Pete Alonso. And I noticed over the last few days, over the last 5 games, Michael Conforto has 3 doubles and a home run, and 3 to 5 RBIs or whatever it is. Well, how many extra base hits does Jesse Winker have? 0. He's got 3 singles and 1 walk. Pathetic. But I know it's only 6 games. I got to calm down. I want to say I was right so far, but I don't like being right when it comes to players that I don't want here. But now we got Pete Alonso, who is going to be a free agent after the season. And now he's starting to say, I guess, what people aren't really caring for, some very strange things. I would mention, when Pete does talk, he's very positive. And maybe this did not come across well to some people. To me, I'm sort of lukewarm on it. It's, just based off of his own background in terms of his own what he usually has talked in the past about himself and about the club. Very positive about the team. Even when the Mets were getting their asses kicked last year, he was always very positive. And in terms of just as a hard worker, he's got a good reputation as a player. He works hard every day. We know that he's worked hard because he's become a very good first baseman based off of what his reputation was when the Mets drafted him in 2016. But he's had a lousy year, and really he didn't have a good year last year. This year, things are much, much worse. Right now, he's got 23 home runs and 59 RBIs. He's on pace for 32 homers. Get this, 32 homers, which is one thing. That's one thing. But he's on pace for 83 RBIs. This is a guy that will drive in 120 runs. He's on pace for 83 RBIs. He's not even going to sniff 100 RBIs unless he gets really, really hot. And that's the one thing we know that's happened this year. He's not gotten hot this year. He's not had a hot streak. He's had nothing where he's had home runs in bunches. It's just, I don't know what's going on here. Now, the average is about 240, whatever it is. And he has been very... his at-bats have not been very strong. His at-bats from at-bat to at-bat, pitch to pitch, has been very, very inconsistent. He's been swinging a lot of off-speed pitches. He's been taking a lot of fastballs down the middle. And even when he makes contact, I've been noticing a lot of balls are not going over the wall. They're getting caught at the warning track. In his defense, I would mention that he's had plenty of hand injuries in the course of his professional career. He's had a bad injury in the minor leagues back in 2016, and obviously that injury last year really killed his year in June. So I just wanted to bring that up. Maybe there's an issue, I don't know. and this is from fan side, people are really ripping Pete based on what he said when the Mets were in Anaheim or in St. Louis or wherever it was. Headline from fan side, Pete Alonso refused to take accountability for a subpar contract season with the Mets. Get a grip, Pete. Get a grip, Pete. Now, I'm going to do more videos on Pete as we go along. So if you want more videos on Pete, I will do videos on Pete. The New York Mets have been one of the best teams in the major since the start of June, but vibes took a bit of a hit this past weekend when they lost 2 of 3 to the subpar Los Angeles Angels team. All 3 games of that series were winnable, yet the Mets did themselves in by failing to come up big in most of their many clutch situations. A major culprit of that was Pete Alonso, who continues season-long struggles with runners in scoring position the entire week. I would mention the Mets are third, at the third worst batting average with men in scoring position. It's 186. They're behind the San Francisco Giants, which surprised me that they're that low. I guess it's June 15th or whatever. And the White Sox. So they're just a little bit better than the White Sox, and a little bit better than the White Sox, and a little bit better than the Giants. But the Giants have played well because they've gotten good pitching. The Mets, the White Sox, on the other hand, are an unmitigated disaster. They're probably going to be the worst team in baseball history. Probably one of the worst teams in baseball history, and the Mets are just a little bit better than them when it comes to men's scoring position. This current Mets team. And of course, Pete's average with men's scoring position is under 200 for the year. With the Mets badly needing a spark, Mets manager Carlos Mendoza shook up the lineup, dropping Alonso to 5th in the order. That was the first time he had hit below 4th since 2020. The change worked, and the Mets came away with a crucial 6-0 win. The story of that game wasn't a lineup change or even the dominance Showmanaya displayed, though. It was what Alonso said pregame. Now, I would mention Mendoza put Alonso back in the lineup, batting 4th for the Mets. But Mets only scored 2 runs in Colorado. It's pathetic. I'm going to read you what he said. What Pete said before the game on Monday. Quote, I'm on pace for close to 40 homers. Well, that's not true, Pete. I was an all-star this year. To beat myself up or be frustrated is really no use. I'm really excited for the end of the year where we get to play winning baseball. I'm happy with what I've accomplished this year so far. Now, Pete is very positive, but Pete doesn't know his own numbers. I don't know if he's lying to himself or he doesn't realize it. He's on pace for 32 home runs, not 40, like he normally is. His production has gone It's gone way, way down. It's gone way, way down over the last year and a half. And quite frankly, his production as a player has not been as dominating as it was prior to September 2022. Prior to September 2022, when the best hitter sluggers in the game. Since then, it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle. Batting average-wise, home run-wise, RBI-wise. When asked if he can identify why he's had a down season relative to expectations, Alonso chose to pump himself up. Not only did he refuse to take any accountability, what has objectively been a down year, but what he used to defend his production was either inaccurate or questionable at best. Alonso chose to defend his production by saying he's on pace for 40 homers, and he was an all-star. Saying he's on pace for close to 40 home runs is unequivocally false. As of this writing, as I'm doing this video, he's on pace for 32 home runs. 40 home runs isn't out of the question if he can get hot, but saying that he's on pace for 40 is inaccurate. As for the all-star argument, that's one questionable at best. It appears that Francisco Lindor and Brandon Nimmo had put up better first halves than Alonso, but Pete was the lone Mets representative in the All-Star game. He might have been chosen because he had said in the past that he'd only participate in the home run derby if he was selected as an All-Star. I think that's a weak argument. I've been feeling that way. MLB wanted him in the derby in a year, many high-end participant, and he was terrible. I mean, the home run derby for Pete was terrible. When looking at what Alonso's done in his 6-year career, this has objectively been his worst season. He enters Tuesday's action slashing .241, .326 on-base percentage, .464 slugging percentage. That is a .790 OPS. Terrible. Terrible. It's terrible for him. If he were to hit 33 homers, that'd be a career low in a 162-game season. There's a chance Alonso finishes with below 90 RBIs for the first time in a 162-game season as well. What's been most frustrating about Alonso's season, though, isn't even the smaller home run totals. It's the fact that he hasn't been producing in the clutch. Alonso leads the majors in RBIs since he debuted back in 2019, but his slash 198, 359 slugging percentage, terrible. With 4 home runs and 33 RBIs with runners in scoring position this year. He's been hitting cleanup for most of the season, behind awesome table setters like Lindor and Nimmo, yet has not been driving them in nearly enough. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. You got 2 guys that are getting on base like crazy, and his RBI totals are so low. Now, I said this in the previous video that I did on Pete. I'm going to put the link in. You can check it out. It's a good video. People like watching it. I don't believe Pete's going to come back next year. I believe that he is resigned to leaving. I don't believe the Mets are going to give him what he wants. I think he bet on himself last year, and it's a miserable disaster. Unmitigated disaster for this particular free agent. And it's unfortunate because I do like the guy, but if he's not producing, and then he needs to go. And I've been sort of looking around, thinking about who could play first. I have one player in mind. I do have a player in mind that would kind of fit in with the David Stearns run prevention thing. One thing that we've learned about David Stearns is he talked a lot about run prevention when he became the Mets president of baseball operations. And a player that we all sort of come to really appreciate is Tyrone Taylor. I have a player in mind that I can see the Mets signing in the offseason. This guy, he hits home runs. He's probably one of the best first basemen defensively in baseball. And that's Christian Walker. I can definitely see the Mets signing him. You won't have to bat him in the middle of the line. You can bat him, maybe 5th or 6th in the Mets line for next year, and then you go after the big guy out there in the Bronx. But that's for next year. That's for the offseason. But right now, Pete he doesn't look like he's going to come back, and his numbers, he really blew it. I mean, he had a chance to get a big contract from the Mets last year. This is before he hired Scott Boras as his agent, and he blew it, man. You blew it. How can you blow it? He blown it worse than Michael Conforto when it comes to his free agency. My goodness. Well, you let me know what you think about this video. And I'll do more stuff on the Mets, obviously, on this channel. This is the Baseball Hut. And I do stuff on day-to-day stuff. And boy, oh boy. Hopefully they get the game tonight. They get this win tonight. Mets don't always play well in Colorado. And for some reason, they don't always hit as well as they should, as other teams do when they go there. But I don't know. But let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut, and I'll see you later.